Hello and welcome once again to Simply Natural, living in harmony with nature. This is a continuation of my cocoa farm journey. Hello, welcome to Simply Natural, living in harmony with nature, making use of nature's gifts. Today, I'm in my cocoa farm. We took a little break from the cocoa planting because there were some issues with too much rain at one time and then at another time too little rain. So we had to pause with the project. But now we're continuing with the cocoa farm. If you look behind me, you can see that the land is cleared. Some parts have been planted. Some areas have already been planted with the cocoa. And this planting season, we are going to plant the rest of the land with cocoa. So I'm here on the hill and I'm going to go down into the valley. Let's see how far we've gone with the cocoa farm. I'm going to show you some of the seedlings that were planted last year. They've grown a little bit, so this year we're going to continue. So let's go down the valley and see what we are up to at this moment. And the good news is the cocoa that was planted last year is doing very well. Like I showed you before, this is one side of the hill. It's like a giant ridge. Okay, the land goes up to the other side of the hill. It's an entire hill, all sides of it. So when you come down here, going up, I have to pass through somebody else's land. Okay, so now let's take a look at the cocoa. You see, in planting the cocoa, the plants are a bit fragile. They need some protection. So usually the practice here is we plant some shady trees. Now you can see here, these are cassava plants. Okay, these are all cassava plants. So the cassava was planted and then the cocoa was planted in the midst of all the cassava. You can see the cocoa plant here. So here I am, and this is the cocoa plant. You can see it here. This is the cocoa and it's sitting next to cassava. So all the space is covered with cassava and then the cocoa is planted within. Okay, so the sense in it is that the cocoa will take 3 years to mature. It'll take 3 years to mature. And this cassava will be ready for harvest in 6 months, maximum 7-8 months. Okay, so by the time they are harvested, they would have done their job of shielding the baby cocoa plants from the extremes of the weather. So they kind of give it some shade, protect it from the elements. Okay, so this is its protector. So by the time we harvest these cassava plants, the cocoa would be strong enough to stand on its own. So that's the good thing about it. So this is where we are. I'll show you some other cocoa plants. Okay, you can see here, this is a cocoa plant. This is another one. Yes, and this is another one. This is another one. So it goes on in a long line. 1 acre we planted last year, so the rest of the land will be covered with the cocoa plants this year. So you can see the cassava. It's a win-win situation. We get some food to eat and also to sell with the cassava, and then it acts as a protector for the young and very vulnerable plants. So the plants are in a kind of nursery, as you can see. It's got shade, just like you have a nursery and it's shaded. Yeah, so the plants act to protect and shade the baby cocoa plants. Okay, so there's still a whole lot here, and it goes on and on and on and on. We have a lot of cassava to harvest this year. Like I said, by the time we harvest the cassava, the cocoa will be strong enough to withstand the sun and everything else. Okay, it can now stand on its own. And then at certain intervals, we have some big trees like this palm tree here. It's giving shade to this area. Okay, we didn't just cut down all the trees. We left some big trees at certain intervals to also give a natural shade. So it's been a very amazing day at the farm. I came here to inspect what's going on. I see that the cocoa has been restored, a new one is being planted, and I've gone round to pick a few fruits and vegetables, a few edibles that are all over the place. You know, we have corn, we have black pepper, and it's all really nice. So thank you for being with us today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then like it. Give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to follow my journey. Thank you and see you again. Bye for now.